Have you set a New Year's resolution or a goal and it's failed? A few weeks later, after you set your goal, you're already finding yourself falling off the wagon and not being able to complete it. But why? Why do most resolutions and goals fail? You have good intentions. You know an area that you struggle with. You know an area that you want to improve on. And so you set the goal for it. Maybe it's weight loss, maybe it's better eating or exercise. Or if you're watching this video, it probably has something to do with healthy relationships. Maybe you've had relationships fail and you want to have a good relationship, you want to get married, and that's the ultimate goal. I'm going to tell you why most resolutions and goals fail. It's not because it's not a good goal. It's not because you were too lazy or dumb or unlovable or whatever you may have heard in the past or thought previously. It's simply because of not getting the support needed to accomplish the goal. Most goals have a lot of steps that you need to take in order to get closer to your goal, in order to ultimately reach it. And the reason why people are not reaching these goals is simple. It's because they're not getting help and support along the way to reach all of those steps. That's it. You just need help to reach your goals. In this video, I'm going to give you some examples of some of the goals that I've recently set and how I went about getting the support I needed to help myself to actually achieve those goals. Many people make this mistake of thinking that they just need to work harder, or they need to be more strict with themselves, or if they just, buckle down and really, really try, it's going to happen. If they just join the gym, if they just do that, and they try to do it on their own and they're not able to stick with it. But I'm going to show you how it's actually much more simple than that to reach the goals that you want to reach. You can subscribe to my channel so that you can get a lot of videos, all things healthy relationships, how to find a good relationship, how to date, if you're interested in that. So let's get into it today. I'm going to give you 2 examples of goals that I have recently had and how I went about getting the support I needed to actually achieve them. So the first one is I wanted to exercise more regularly. Now, I like to exercise. I'm into fitness and things like that. However, the past 5 months or so, I've not been doing it as regularly. And what happened was we moved. And so there was a clear problem, in the way. I used to live 3 minutes away from the gym, and now I live 4 times that amount. And so it's been a lot harder getting to the gym. Also because of the move, if you've ever moved before, that there's a lot to do. There's packing, there's unpacking, there's cleaning one house, cleaning another house. Things now need repaired. And so you're spending time doing that. And so it was a lot going on, and that was also impacting me not being able to get to the gym as regularly, not being able to exercise as regularly as I used to. So I needed to get some sort of support, right? The first thing I did was I hired a nutrition coach, and I wanted to eat better. That was a separate goal. But in order to do the nutrition program, I needed to be regularly exercising. And so that helped me put in the first step of I've got to be exercising in order to do this program. And me hiring her gave me the motivation to do that, right? It gave me the motivation to say, I need to be doing this. And so I needed to look for a closer gym. And so I did that. I went out, I looked at different gyms, I searched gyms online, and I found one that was closer to my house. And that seemed to have the things that I wanted. And so that alone gave me a little bit of a push to at least join a closer gym, right? Now, this gym had a kickoff session. So they have like a free session that they offer at the beginning if you want to take advantage of it, where you can meet with somebody on the training staff and they will kind of walk you through where you are now, what your goals are, where you'd like to be, what you would like your body to look like, what you would like your exercise plan and things like that to look like. Now, I knew that this was like a basic session, and it wasn't a real personal training session. It wasn't really going to give me a lot of new information. I didn't think. I think it was just a basic session that they offer anybody coming to the gym, even people that aren't used to exercising. And so I didn't really think I was going to get a whole lot out of it, but I thought, I'm going to sign up for it anyways. It's probably going to help me a little bit. So I signed up for the session, had the session, and it actually was really good. So I talked to the person on the training staff about my goals. I talked to him about what was getting in the way of me getting to the gym. They did a body scan, and I was able to see on the screen some areas of where my body needs improvement, right? And I was able to see on the screen in a little bit of time how that could possibly improve if I do the things that they're suggesting me to do. And so I was created kind of like a little roadmap in this session. And again, I didn't really learn a lot of new things in the session. However, it was enough to motivate me to work towards my goal of wanting to exercise more anyways. And so when I left the session, I was pumped. I was motivated. I was ready to go. Why? Because I had just spent an hour talking to somebody about what my goals were, where I wanted to be, how I wanted to get there. And I was able to get some tips from somebody that had knowledge in that area, probably more knowledge in that area than I did, about how I could actually make this possible. And so it became more of a reality for me, right? The other thing that happened in that session is at the end, he booked me for a follow-up session in 1 month. I'm going to have another body scan. Now, it's not going to be a full session like it was before, but it's going to be a body scan to look at, did I make improvements over this past month? So that is huge. If you want to create a plan that's going to actually help you reach your goal, it needs to include some sort of accountability. Who's going to hold you accountable? And so when he booked me for that body scan in 1 month, that was a layer of accountability that was added in, that I now know I've got this appointment. And guess what? I don't want to go to that appointment and not have any changes made, right? I want to go to that appointment and say, wow, look at what I was able to do in this month. And so the support of that session, talking through things and getting some advice from him and booking the accountability, that is what is helping me to get to the gym. That is what is helping me to exercise more. I was pumped when I left, and I knew that I have accountability there. So let me give you another example of something in my life where it's actually helped me reach my goals. So starting this coaching business. So I had always had in the back of my mind that I wanted to help people on a more personal level, that I wanted to be a coach, but I didn't really know how would I do that? Like, how do you get started in that? I knew that I wanted to help people personally, like in a small group or individually, as opposed to a lot of people, because I thought that the impact would be greater then, that I could really help somebody a lot if I'm working with them in a small group or one-to-one. But I thought, I don't know anything about starting a coaching business. Like, what do I even do? Where would I even begin? And so I decided to pay for a program that would help me do that. So my ultimate goal was having a successful coaching business, right? I didn't know where to start. And so I needed to put some things in place to help me reach that goal. Because if I would not have hired the support I needed, it never would have happened. It always would have been in the back of my mind that I wanted to be a coach. And I probably never would have done it because I just didn't even know what to do. And so I found a program online. I found a coach online that could help me, that knew the roadmap of, here's what I need to do now. Here's what I need to do in a little bit. The roadmap of start to finish. How do you get this business up off the ground? And guess what? I paid for the program. I invested in the program. It wasn't free. But what that did for me was it made sure that I was fully participating in the program, right? Because I didn't want to waste my money. I knew this is my goal. This person can help me reach it. And I'm going to show up to these calls. I'm going to get the coaching I need. I'm going to get the accountability I need. And I'm going to get the knowledge I need to actually make this dream that I had a reality. So paying for the coaching actually made my commitment and my motivation for the program stronger, because now I had more at stake, right? Sometimes when we get things for free, we don't really pay attention to them. They might sit in our inbox for weeks, right? They might sit in a to-do list for a long time. You might not never get to them. But if you pay for something, you are more committed. There's already that level of accountability built in. And in that program, I had weekly check-ins with my coach. I had weekly accountability. How are you doing? How's it going? I had modules that I had to complete and some homework in between. And you better believe I did the work, right? Because I knew this was going to help me reach my goal, and I was paying for the support to get there. So what do these two examples tell us? People don't reach their goals or even give up on them because they just don't get the support they need to follow through with them. They don't know the steps that they need to take. And so what do? They do nothing. Or they start out trying, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. And then when they get into it, it's hard, right? And so they think, oh, well, this is getting in the way, this is getting in the way. And then they kind of drift off and they don't continue to take the steps. And so they try to do it on their own. And that's why people's resolutions and goals are failing, because they're trying to do it on their own and not getting the support they need. So let's take this to relationships and dating, right? So, problems. You may be sick of being single. You may feel lonely. You may feel like you can never trust again, that there are no good men out in the world, right? That there's nobody that you're compatible with, that nobody believes the same things that you do, or you can't find anybody that has the same values as you do, right? What happens then? You wind up having conversations with people that you're not compatible with. You wind up being in relationships with people that are not good for you. And even they might not even be right for you. They might even be downright bad for you, but you still are holding on to these relationships, right? You have a goal of wanting to be in a good relationship. You have a goal of wanting to date good men. You have a goal of wanting to be able to date somebody that's a good quality man that values you and respects you. And ultimately, you probably have a goal of wanting to be in a good, godly, and healthy Christian marriage, which is a great goal, right? But how are you going to get there? You can go about it as you already have, holding on to past relationships, asking questions, maybe in online support groups where you're trying to get advice about different relationships or situations you've been in, or somebody that you're talking to online. They said this, and is this a red flag? You can join those support groups online and try to get some help there, try to get a little bit of information. You might figure maybe I'll just meet somebody organically, right? But it's going to be much more difficult to reach your end goal of a healthy, good relationship without getting support on all of these things. So that's where coaching comes into. Just like I hired a coach for me to start this coaching business, just like I hired a nutrition coach for healthy eating, right? It helps you to actually be accountable and to actually give you the roadmap of how to start. So if you decide to do coaching with me, I do offer private one-to-one coaching to help you find the relationship that you would like, to help you get into the marriage that you've always dreamed of. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you a roadmap. I'm going to be somebody that can talk to you from a place of understanding. I've been single, right? I've been in bad relationships. I now have a really good relationship. I've dated as a single mom. I've been divorced. For those of you that are divorced, I know what that is like, going through that and coming out of it on the other side. It's having somebody specifically for you that gets it, that can check in with you week after week and help you. It's me looking out for you, right? It's me giving you some guidance from where I've already been to help you walk through it for where you are now. You'd be able to ask questions specifically of me, like, is this a red flag? Or is the person that I'm talking to really good for me? Or are they not? Or I'm being held back by this past relationship, but I don't really know how to move forward from it. It's getting personalized guidance on all of those things and having somebody to hold you accountable, to make sure that you're moving forward and to show you the path through all of that, right? It is actively working towards your goal of wanting to be in a loving and supportive Christian relationship. It gives you the motivation to take a chance and maybe finally put yourself out there if you've been afraid to do that in the past. So it is an investment, right? Just like my programs that I've done are investments. The gym is investment. I have to pay for that, right? The nutritional coach that I hired, I have to pay for that, right? The coaching business help, that coach, that program, I had to pay for that. But guess what? That gave me the motivation and the determination to keep going and to say, yes, this is something I want, and I'm going to invest in myself so that I can make it happen because it's important to me, right? When you're invested in it, it gives you the motivation to show up for the calls. I'm going to show up for those calls because that's the value that I've paid for. That's going to help me. So think about some of the goals that you've set and whether they've succeeded or whether you weren't able to meet them. What happened? Did you get the support that you needed to help you along the way? You're much more likely to get to a place that you want to be in if you have support to help you with each of the things that come along in the middle of it when you're actually doing the work. if you're getting help with those steps needed to get to your end goal. So if you want to have a godly relationship, if you want to be in a good Christian marriage that you've dreamed of, I want to ask you to invest in yourself, to see the value of getting yourself some help and support from somebody that can help you with that. It's worth the time, and it's worth the money, and it's worth the commitment to get somebody to walk alongside you. And my coaching program can help you with that. I would love to come alongside you. I would love to give you the guidance that you may need. I would love to be the person that can walk with you step by step and encourage you and motivate you and guide you along the way. So if you are interested in that, you can reach out to me and schedule a consult call with me. And I look forward to hearing from you.